Well, Sir Penguin here, and we are looking at a replay review. We have got Hyperkaku, Superkaku playing as the Holy Roman Empire in the blue. This is the guy we're going to be reviewing for this video. We've seen him before playing a little Team Delhi, and now we've got him on the ranked ladder. Now this game is going to be a gold 2 game for Hyperkaku against a, I believe it's a less skilled opponent around silver, but you know, we're just gonna learn what we can from these kinds of games. If it's a game that you should be winning, there's ways that we should be winning it, so we'll take a look and see what we do right and what we do wrong, and ways we can get better. So, I have not fully mentioned this in the past, but I'm not really an HRE player per se, but I understand the fast castle, and I understand the basics of HRE pretty darn well. So we'll take a look here, make sure we're all looking just right. Alrighty, I would like to point out, I love the still life chickens in the HRE stuff. What an elegant piece of art. Look at them. It's kind of uncanny. It's kind of uncanny seeing still life chickens here. Anyway, we've got a nice little split, 7-3 with the prelate. Gonna go on up to that feudal nice and quick here. Across the way, red is doing some similar, whoa, I see. It's a bit of an older Japan build. We kind of don't want to do the 5-5 as much anymore with the stone. It takes so long to get that gold, and Japan, especially against factions like HRE and whatnot, are going to be better suited for like getting that gold and having a pretty fast feudal age or aggression, something like that. So note to the opponent here, big dumb, good luck out there. All right, so Superkaku just going on up, and we have idle on the villas too, unfortunate. Anyway, Superkaku coming on here, very nice job making sure you're not over queuing on the villagers here so you can get that age up, very nice. And here we have the Aachen coming up. We don't have any float, which is a big improvement, I think, from last time. I know we're still early, but already I'm seeing a couple of small improvements from the last game I've watched of yours, so that's great. That's great. Going to be pretty tight, I would say, the Holy Roman Empire opening, and immediately going for that Aachen for that fast castle. And I like this. You know, we've got some good resources. You'll be able to get the berries empowered, the wood line, and drop off the wood immediately. And we've got the gold empowered too. I don't know if you'll do this later, but one thing you can do is actually, once this gold is gone, is delete this mining camp for your circle of farms. So something to keep in mind, but we'll see when we get there. Obviously, the gold has a long ways to go. All right. These beginnings of the games, I like to just sit here and talk about some of the things you expect in these matchups. So, between HRE and Japan, I think Japan has it worse off in this matchup. They're both strong infantry factions, and they're both strong knight factions because of the amount of gold that can come in, because of the amount of food with the Aachen Chapel, and oh, right, we're doing the stone. I was like, and the Kira storehouse, it's not coming up just yet. And you're going to have that feudal age way before them. But again, we're not really worried about what your opponent's doing. We're worried about what you're doing. So HRE has Lance Connect and maces and things like that are really good against the armored units of Japan. And Japan's answer, the Onimusha, isn't the best anti-armor option in the game. Especially in solos, you find that I find them to be more effective in teams than in solo games. All right, Aachen is up. We've immediately popped the prelate in. That's very nice, very clean. I like to see it. Going for the food and the gold. Not too worried about our house production for now. Let's keep an eye on that. So I believe the split is something like, yeah, 14-6. Where are we going? Maybe more food. That's fine, as long as we're going up, especially with the villagers empowered on the gold. That'll make that really easy there. Here comes that Kira storehouse for the opponent. 6 villagers on the building. That's kind of rough for the Japan player here. Again, not too worried about what they're doing, but just noting some things that you scouted. You clearly saw this Kira coming up, saw how many villagers was on it. So this is nice scouting. Doing a little circle around the Japan's base. Like to see it. I mostly got compliments so far. Your first 5 minutes are looking a lot better. A big improvement from last time. Okay, we have some villagers on wood to make sure we don't get housed and things like that. And we also obviously are going to need some military buildings when we get the age up. But I like this. You know, we haven't signaled anything. And because you've scouted and your opponent has been late, there's no need for that tower. But sometimes, as HRE in this situation, you might want to drop like 5 vills onto wood and really quickly get the wood you need for a tower on your gold for the fast castle. Because a lot of opponents against HRE are going to try to aggress this. They're going to try to attack your gold, attack your wood line. Anything near the Aachen is really good value for their attackers because they know you don't have military, especially now, right? They'll see if they see this much on gold, they'll know to attack or they'll know to age up or something. So make sure to, always good to pop a little tower on here. It doesn't have to be 100% of the time. Especially because you did a good job of scouting and knowing your opponent was not coming with any units, and you're already aging up. So that's great. And the age up time in here, quite good. I like this. Like I said, the first 5 minutes, looking great. First 6 minutes, very tight compared to before, and I like to see it. I like to see it. Great improvement. We got our houses coming up. So the only thing I'm worried about here is we don't... Okay, we might get the wood now. We need to make sure our military building is up as we go up to Castle Age. In fact, I just posted a video making fun of myself for this, which is like, you're going to hit Castle. What are you going to do with your Castle Age? Because we don't have any military buildings up yet. So really make sure this timing is really tight. You should have a stable or a barracks before this comes up. Oh, beautiful. I like this. So we have the stable coming up, and that's nice against Japan if Japan decides to go for those samurai or anything like that. But your opponent's going to go double TC because that was originally their plan by going for the stone here. So very nice. Get that knight out and start grabbing those relics. One of my notes here is going to be that when you're aging up with this HRE timing, you want to be making a prelate because you want your prelate to already be out on the relic, like even before this. This is good though. Like we're getting the relics now, and you've got 2, 3 prelates coming out onto the relics. I like that. But I think you can probably go for that first prelate even earlier to get that gold, like to use your gold to grab them really quickly. Because the faster you get these relics back to your Regnus, to your towers, like you should already have some prelates out on the relics, the harder it'll be for your opponent to counter your relic play. Especially as you've already noticed, they're behind you, right? And now you get to stay ahead. And here comes the knights. Very nice. Knights are going to be good for securing the relics and putting on pressure. Obviously, with the 2 TCs, it'd be kind of hard to pressure really hard here. But if you sneak in between these gaps and stuff, if you want to be aggressive, you don't even really have to be aggressive with that first knight. And you're already getting that main goal down. And nice job. We've got the prelates coming out, grabbing more of these relics. 2 already in, 3 on the way shortly. That's very nice. Oh yeah, and especially because your opponent's feudal and they're not countering, they're not trying to stop your relic play. This is good. Be a little more careful, I think, with the knight. Half health for 1 villager. It can be a little rough, but we do have prelates to heal that up, and it looks like we can maybe... One thing to keep in mind, yeah, after you go for a raid like that, beautiful. Go ahead, heal the knight with your prelate. And yeah, we got a tiny bit of float here. You're using it for houses and things, that's fine. Probably a little bit of wood float, and honestly, we could probably go with less wood here and more food and gold still, because we're making men-at-arms and we're making knights. We don't really need any of this wood unless we're doing a farm transition, and that farm transition could already be starting. And we got more relics on the way. Again, could have gotten these, I feel like, even faster with a little bit tighter prelate incoming at the beginning of your age up. But this is great. This is great. We've got our upgrade coming in for the men-at-arms with maces, which will be nice. Regardless, I mean, especially if you scout these barracks is coming out, you know that you're going to have some armored units. And it seems your opponent has not upgraded their samurai yet, and they're going for spears because they saw the knight. And you've got Castle Age units to their feudal units, so this is going to be not a fun fight for Japan here. Very nice. I like this. Grab the Sacreds, but honestly, I would use that Prelate to make sure you get the relics first. Because if you can get all 5 relics off of the map, yeah, like wrap it around before you get Sacreds or anything like that, I think there's more value there for you in the long run, especially with this Regnitz Cathedral. And I like this Monastery. Here's another thing, though, I will say about getting this tower. If you get this tower, you don't even have to build a monastery. You just pop that relic into the gold tower, and you've only spent 100 wood on that instead of the 200 wood for this guy. And the Regnitz affects all relics, no matter where, like if you put them in towers or keeps or what, it'll still give you that massive relic income. It doesn't need to be in a monastery. That being said, this is great because you have 4 relics now. It looks like we may have missed this one. I think in a 1v1, especially with your opponent still in feudal age, you really want to make sure you've spotted it. And if you get all 5, you're golden, right? Japan has nothing they can do. I'm digging the farms coming out now. I like the little X pattern on the TC and the Aachen. Great. As we get this transition in, and there's what that wood is being used for. I like it. We're gonna get the payoff on the food, and units are still coming in. So that's good. That's tight play. I like this. And we've just got more than your opponent has, but here's the thing, right? I talked about this in the previous video, and it's gotten better. I don't wanna take this away from you. This has gotten a lot better. But we have some wood we can use. If we're gonna go for a men-at-arms timing here with maces, let's drop a couple more barrackses. Because with the farm transition on the Aachen, this food is gonna start pumping. And yeah, I think you win this, but the enemy has a lot because they're in feudal, but you've been castle for like almost as long as they've been in feudal age. So you really want to, get the payoff for that. One thing would like to see is, yeah, get more barracks out really, and get those men-at-arms coming on out. And I see we've spent that wood on farms. That's fine. That's great. Oh, here, no, never mind. There they are. The barracks is on the back. Love it. Love to see it. Especially because now, as you can see, you have the food and the gold, especially with 4 relics and the Regnitz Cathedral. So this is great. This is nice. But yeah, I feel like these could have come up earlier, and you could have put even more pressure on your opponent. Yeah. It's great. You've got the wood, you've got the stuff, and now we can get that group going, and yeah, there's that. There's the men-at-arms timing for HRE. And now your Japan opponent, who's streaming in, I mean, obviously the skill of the opponent's not in question here. They have some work they need to do, and that's fine. We're all trying to get better at the game at our own level, in our own way. So you're doing exactly what you need to do here. Clear out those waves, and now that you've got those men-at-arms, now that you've beaten a few armies, let's counterattack. Let's go ahead. We've got 3 barracks up. We've got men-at-arms. Our opponent is still feudal. A good player would actually start going to castle and get their anti-armor here because you're not attacking. So start putting pressure on. Get on the food. Take out this second TC with your armored units. And here they come. There we go. And I feel like this could have been earlier is all I'm saying. Oh, yeah. So I just feel like this could be earlier. We do have our techs coming in, and that's great, especially arrow resistance, and I see arrow resistance coming in. That'll help a lot against the TCs and stuff. In fact, with HRE, if you get this arrow resistance earlier, you can do this earlier, because your units will take no damage. Like, they'll take 1 to 2 damage from a TC, and no damage, like 1 damage from enemy archers. So, yeah, this could be earlier. This push should already be coming in. You're going to easily clear this army with this army because they don't have any armor piercing and they're still feudal, so you know Japan isn't going to have the anti-infantry Odachi, or in this case, even samurai, really. It looks like they're just going Onabu Geisha, a little bit of samurai, but the samurai are only rank 1. That samurai looks like it may have been an accident. No, 2 of them come out. We need that samurai upgrade, buddy. Anyway, but now it's too late because the Daimyo Manor's up. This is a lot harder to destroy than the earlier TC would have been. So we're sitting around for too long, especially because we're so far ahead. Our tech, way far ahead. our army way far ahead, and we've got Castle Age. So in general, we want to start using this to our advantage and put pressure on. We want to destroy that TC, kill the units, and like destroying the TC isn't even end all be all. But this player isn't even using their double TC. But if this player was using their double TC, you'd be in a little bit more trouble because Japan would have more time to catch up and get the Onimusha out. They would have more villagers than you. He doesn't, because he's, you know, like we've said, I don't want to be too hard, but he doesn't. So, but against a higher level player, this TC is paying off. So putting that pressure on is going to be really important for you until you get the Swabia. And that's Imperial Age. So that's a little ways down the road. And you've got the Swabia coming up now, but and that's, damn, I mean, HRE. This is the strength of HRE. And so I guess I take back a little bit of that because we did go Imperial Age, and that's cool. We get the Imperial Age, and we don't attack during the Imperial Age. That's a really good habit. So I take some of that, but now we could have used that Castle Age a little more efficiently, I think, but now we've just straight imped. I think, again, I'm kind of seeing this from a perspective of a better player who's going to have more units than you do at this point with your Imperial Age. And they can put a lot of pressure and stop yourself, but this player does not. So you're just gonna be able to slam through this. And I like the pullback to get your upgrades. That's smart. Tithe Barn's coming in, good. Melee damage. I really want to see the Men-at-Arms upgrade come in. You can just save a little bit of gold because you've gone so big into that Men-at-Arms. The Elite Men-at-Arms upgrade, I would even get it before this arrow resistance because your enemy isn't making archers. They're not making Onimusha. They can't yet. I would save this gold to get your Men-at-Arms upgrade because the Imperial Men-at-Arms win this game. Imperial Men-at-Arms are going to absolutely destroy in this game. So that's a little bit of what I'd like to see there to get this even earlier. And you probably would have even won this game earlier by putting on more pressure. Look, you've barely lost any soldiers fighting against that army. And that was the biggest army your opponent has had all game. Now, again, against a stronger player, if you put this pressure on earlier, it's going to be harder for them to build up a mass that can challenge you and that can threaten you. Big Dumb, I don't know if you watch my videos. You gotta use the double TC. You gotta queue it to your hotkey and build those up. This is gonna be a big problem for you down the line. If you're playing casually, like, I get it. We're just having fun. Like that's fine. But yeah, gotta get those villagers coming out. All right, I like this. We got the siege. Honestly, though, again, you don't even really need the siege here because you've got so much armor on these beefy boys. These beefy boys here can just go ahead and shred through that. And there's another upgrade that I would rather just have the Imperial upgrade on these Men-at-Arms first. Get the Imperial upgrade, then catch up with your Blacksmith upgrades. These are going to make your Men-at-Arms, don't get me wrong, hit hard with the two-handed weapons. But I do think the goal is going to be to get the Imperial upgrade first. And now we're destroying that TC, but we could have destroyed it 8 minutes ago. And it would have been way worse for your opponent. But this is fine. I don't like against what your opponent did. This is fine. This is great. Opponent only now going castle, and you've been Imperial with the Swabia. By the way, very nice job queuing up the Swabia and keeping your villager production up. This is a lot better than last time as well. So, great job. Unit production leaves a little something to be desired, I think, because we want to try to max out now. But I see that you're spending a lot of that gold on the siege, which is nice. We've got a bombard out now. Very nice. So that's fine. That's great. But see, this is what you could have done a long time ago. And just walked into the enemy's base, destroyed that second TC, and pushed up. So against a stronger opponent, I think you just need to be a little more aggressive. Balance out your Men-at-Arms aggression. You could even just have little groups of Men-at-Arms attack different parts of the enemy base as HRE. And so I think we missed a little bit of that, missed a little bit of production time, and a lot of my notes for this one were just little tweaks. So if you work on some of those little tweaks, you go from gold to platinum easily because your build is looking good and you're getting to that point where you can just sort of walk into your enemy's base in gold with your men-at-arms. You can start really putting that pressure on, and but really make sure to harass and aggress and grab those relics as fast as you can. Really cut your timings even shorter. That's your next goal. It's obviously that's going to take some more APM. It's going to take some things like that. So make sure you got control groups going. Make sure you're keeping things in mind. Like, I want to make sure I have a prelate on the relic when I get up. And I have a problem doing that, but that's something that'll make you 1,000 times better with your timing. It'll make everything a little bit tighter. Anyway, that's the replay review for Hyperkaku. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a little something for those of you who like to watch my videos. And otherwise, we are gonna move forward with this. Hyperkaku asks, dang, or I thought I would have made some more critical errors. And let me just say this. Once you get to a certain point, errors are critical on a very minuscule level. So like against a higher level player, your production speed was quite slow, right? So that would be something to be worried about that I would consider a critical error. Things like that make a huge difference as you rank up, especially like macroing unit production. Some games, nowadays, I end up just worrying more about producing units than anything else, and that works better than, you know, other things like that. So tightening those windows becomes a huge part of your game. So great job. I've seen huge improvements from your work before, your gameplay before, and that's awesome. Like I bet you can feel the difference. So that's great. Good job, Hyperkaku. Nice improvement. And that's going to be the end of our video. If you need your replay reviewed, like and subscribe, leave me a comment and say, hey, I need some help. Let me know. I'm not a conqueror. I'm a plat 3 diamond player, diamond 1 at the highest lately. So I have notes, I have thoughts, I have things that'll help you get higher, but I'm not like a perfect expert. I'm not a master. But I'm here to help, and I'm happy to look and review and take a look at your games. I hope you're all having a good time. This is Sir Penguin. Enjoy your day. I will talk to you